Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone. How are you tonight? Welcome to ETCOR Educational Research Center. I hope that everyone is good and well, in spite of different experiences we have, particularly in the existence of COVID-19 pandemic. And at present, some part of our country are experiencing typhoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Briñosa, and I will be your moderator tonight. I am welcoming you all in this, the third day or day 3, research continues, disseminating research finding and conceptualizing further inquiries. You know, everyone is very lucky tonight attending this significant event holding by ETCOR Educational Research Center under its advocacy project Sagip Mananaliksik, wherein the main purpose is to help researchers, whether you are a student or a professional, all over the country, especially during this time of pandemic. Remember that this is a depth and advisory regarding Project Sagip Mananaliksik, which has 2 categories. Number 1, or the first one, is one-on-one, and the other one is for everyone. But both of these projects are with depth and advisory. And this time, I would like to recognize, of course, and acknowledge the overall project coordinators for the respective project. None other than Dr. Bernadette L. Lijarde for the For Everyone, and Dr. Adrian Lawrence P. Carvajal for the One-on-One. At syempre, I would like to recognize and acknowledge the overall project coordinators for the respective project. Dr. Syempre, I am proud to say, and I'm proud to introduce to you our head of research consultants of ETCOR, none other than Dr. Richard Sanchez, together with our national consultants, regional coordinators, provincial, division, and city coordinators, and all ETCOR research consultants who are present now in this event. Ladies and gentlemen, may I see you all? For this time, I want to see everyone. Please open your camera for the meantime. Everyone, please. Everyone, please. Open your cam. I want to see you all. All right. So still, there are some who are not yet opening their cam. Thank you very much. Ayan, nakikita ko na kayo. And once again, welcome to this significant event. Welcome to ETCOR Educational Research Center. And by this juncture, I would like to give you one of our friends here in ETCOR Educational Research to give us welcome message. Ladies and gentlemen, a research coordinator from Taguig City University, Taguig City, Philippines, none other than Professor Jefferson Marcelo.
Thank you so much, Doc Dennis, for what an interactive and energetic introduction. So magandang gabi po sa inyo. So to the head of all the research consultant of ETCOR Educational Research Center, Dr. Richard Sanchez, to the overall project coordinators of the Project Mananaliksik, Dr. Bernadette Lijarde and Dr. Adrian Lawrence P. Carvajal, to all the consultants, regional coordinators, provincial, division, city coordinator, and to our distinguished resource speaker for this evening, Dr. Floyd Aquino, to my co-researcher, research consultant team member for today's webinar, To all the teachers, faculty, and students for tonight's webinar, a pleasant evening to everyone. It is a glorious moment to extend my warm wishes on behalf of the ETCOR family to grace with you the opening remarks. It is indeed a great privilege to welcome you to the third session of our topic about research continues, disseminating research findings and conceptualizing further inquiries. It aims to provide extensive and practical knowledge in research when it comes to dissemination of the findings and how we could able to handle and provide additional information about the inquiries in our research paper or undertakings. On behalf of my institution, I am compelled to all the research session for today and all the research enthusiasts and researchers who have made it to the webinar session. This session would enlighten all of us present here on the importance of the research findings and conceptualizing further inquiries. Research that develops our critical thinking skills, give us knowledge and learning, and also provide us an information that we could able to apply or use in our daily life. Research is a search of facts and knowledge. Research is really important because it reveals the reality and also the unreality. What propels is humanity forward. It's fueled by curiosity. What we get curious, ask questions, and immerse ourselves in discovering everything there is to know. Learning is striving. Without curiosity and research, progress would slow to a halt, and our lives, as we know, then would be completely different. And thank you to all the attendees for this webinar session. And I hope that you're
kapalagayang loob natin ang bawat isa with your message, a welcome message tonight. Totoo yan, ako po ay biglaan din na-assign sa gawain ito. But I am proud to do my task tonight because I am in the prestige Professor Jefferson Marcelo. So by this time, my dear friends, my dear visitors here, I would like to give you some views with regards on what to be happened here in our session tonight. So once again, this is the third day or the day 3 for the research continues, disseminating research findings and conceptualizing further inquiries. So by this time, my dear friends, I would like to remind everyone with regards on some rules and guidelines while we are attending this webinar. Of course, kailangan po natin ng medyo tahimik na atmosphere para ang bawat isa na magsasalita ay ating maririnig at maiintindihan ang kanilang sinasabi. And I know that you are very much aware on that way. Na kapag hindi tayo kailangan magsalita ay i-off muna natin yung ating microphone. And of course, our camera, you are allowed to open your camera, no? You are allowed to open your camera. But if you don't want, okay din po, kahit hindi kayo mag-open ng camera. But kapag kinakailangan at nagsabi po ako na paki-open ang inyong camera, mag-open po kayo ng camera. And at the same time, the microphone. So this time, I am hearing some noise while I am reminding about it. So please mute your microphone. Okay, thank you very much. So as the webinar goes or flow, you need to be attentive on the different persons while they are listening, they are talking on their part, no? So and then later ay magkakaroon po tayo ng speaker na magdi-discuss sa atin ng napakahalagang aspeto sa larangan po ng pagre-research. So, hindi ko na po papapatagalin, at alam ko naman kung kayo ay very much aware kung paano po tayo attend ng webinar session like this. Once again, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Briñosa from Mindoro State University. And I am proud na naging kabahagi po ako ng programang ito. So by this time, my dear friends, my dear visitors who have here, I am proud to introduce to you our guest speaker tonight. Our speaker tonight is a graduate of philosophy. He is a college instructor at Colegio De Montalban from Rodriguez, Rizal, Philippines. Ako, familiar ako sa lugar na ito kasi madalas ako pumupunta ng Montalban. He will share to us a topic about tips to a successful and stress-free oral defense. Wow, what a very nice topic. So I hope and I really sure na kayo po ay mag-enjoy at tatamasa ng maraming learnings with regards with this topic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give you now our speaker. He is none other than Dr. Richard T. Catain.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that introduction. No? So, good evening, everyone. I think I am still expecting another some attendees because I asked Sir Richard if I could invite my students, my research students, to be part of this activity that we are having tonight, and he said yes. So I'll be sharing my screen, but before that, I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Bernadette Lejarde, Dr. Adrian Carbajal, the overall project coordinators, and of course to the very accommodating and always available Dr. Richard Sanchez, no? So salamat po ng marami sa inyo. I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay. So again, good evening, everyone. I am pleased that I am being asked to share something to the ETCOR family. The flourishing, the fast-growing team of research enthusiasts and professionals, not only in the Philippines but outside the Philippines. So. Okay, this is the first slide. I'd like you to watch this.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the thesis defense of doctoral candidate William Edwards. Mr. Edwards, you will have 20 minutes to defend your thesis, and we will open up the remainder of the hour to the panel to ask any questions. Are you ready to begin? I am. Very well, proceed.
On this, the 14th day of October, Anno Domini 2013, I, William of the House of Edwards, do hereby swear to defend my thesis unto death.
Mr. Edwards, we should remind you that you will receive no points for style. We are primarily interested in the content of your thesis.
You need not explain your wicked designs unto me, foul creature.
Excuse me?
Well do I know of thine intent. You would destroy my thesis concerning the levels of water consumption in genetically modified plants.
Mr. Edwards, perhaps we should clarify what it means to defend your thesis. See, none of us has any malintent toward— Oh!
Stand and face me, cowards! If you would have my thesis, then come and claim it.
What is happening? This is supposed to be an academic inquiry.
Then you may inquire at the pearly gates.
Supposed to tenure.
Mr. Edwards, you have been horribly misinformed about the nature of this meeting.
Have at thee!
We just want to know about some of the research you've done.
I spent long hours in the studies published by Hirsch and Tangleson. The research by Evans was particularly illuminating.
Yes, he had wonderful insights, but did you agree with his prognostications?
Only insofar as they related to industry. I thought that he was mistaken with regards to consumers. Sorry I'm late. Ooh. As you were.
And the bibliography?
Enough to make women swoon and grown men weep.
I'm convinced it is defended. Congratulations, Dr. Edwards.
We fought honorably. Forgive me for misjudging you. To the thesis.
Now, fool, did you really think Stanford would just hand out a doctorate so easily? Patricia, send in the next candidate.
Okay. So, yung napanood niyo po ay sample ng isang event, no, ng thesis defense daw, but hindi naman ganun sa atin, no. So according to Dr. Eric Halstein, Michael Kiparsky, and Short, thesis defense is like standing in front of a firing squad. Your executioner are the professors who are expert in their fields. You read before them as they take turns posing questions almost beyond your grasp. The threat hangs constantly over your head. Fail to satisfy them and your graduate career will end. So most of our attendees today are research enthusiasts, practicing professionals, and as I have mentioned, I have invited my students, no, to get some inputs out of this presentation that I have. So again, my topic is tips to a successful and stress-free oral defense. So it can be for the graduate students or the undergrad. Another definition of thesis defense is as cited by the Singapore Management University. According to the definition, the oral defense or thesis defense is much feared, yet desired. For most doctoral students, it marks the end of the road. So because they say that the doctoral degree is a terminal degree, no? So very difficult to imagine, but if you are at the terminal part of your education for your terminal degree, you really wanted to have your final defense be done, no? So however, according to the definition again, the illustration, the oral defense also possibly represents the biggest challenge and tests culminating one's doctoral journey. So I hope that everyone, no, having this definition that I have presented to you this evening, would desire that in spite that it is very challenging task, yet you still aspire to be able to accomplish, no, this huge task. Okay, now in preparation of thesis defense, I have provided 3 stages or 3 areas or 3 categories, no. So the pre-defense stage, if you have completed your academic requirements, as we all know, after that you will be taking your compre exam for those who are taking the graduate school, no, so graduate studies. Then the thesis writing proper will come, no. So if you're at the stage of the thesis writing proper, you will be encountering this, no, the pre-defense stage, both proposal or title proposal or topic proposal or chapters 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, actual defense stage and post-defense stage. So lahat po ito, all of these stages are difficult stages, know that for some, after completing their academic after having their complete academic requirements, no, for them it's enough that their graduate schooling is already satisfied. For them, they are satisfied already, but for some they really find the difficult challenge of completing the program by doing the thesis writing or writing proper and defending it later on, no. So I'd like to make some sort of the illustration of what these 3 stages are all about. So when we talk about pre-defense thesis, so we have here what are the what are the roles of the advisees, the advisee or the student, no? If it is individual, this is the prescribed one. But for those who are in a group, no, they can have it done. They can share the task, no. And I also have here cited the task of a research advisor. So it's very important that the advisee and the research advisor work, no, hand in hand, diba? Okay, so the first one, for the task of the advisee or for the task of the student who will be doing the pre-defense activity, of course, after presenting your title or after presenting your chapters 1 and 2 for your final defense, so it has the same task, no? So either for your present proposal part or the final part or the completion part, no, you need to prepare for this. The first one is, the first bullet is finalization of the manuscript, no, after the advisor's comment. It's very important. Yeah, it's very important that your advisor will work with you and you work with the patience of your advisor, no? Kasi every time, from time to time, your concern can only be addressed by your advisor, not by who else, no? So unless you will be looking for your external advisor, no? Then another part of the pre-defense activity or activities, no, reproduce copy of the manuscript that you are about to present, no? Then of course that is after the comment of the advisor, comments are done, no? So that's the time that you could have it reproduced. Then the next one, you can have your slides presentation be created, or you can craft your slides, no, and have it checked by your advisor again. So so alongside with the preparation of this task in every bullet, no, so the role of the advisor is always, you know, always on the go, as the student, as the advisee is not yet done with the entire manuscript, with the entire process of completing the defense or the thesis itself. So you need to communicate with the advisor's task is that to check the manuscript, no, for the reproduction. You communicate with the possible members of the panel, no, and for the pre-defense activity, the advisor may check or should check, no, the parts of the slide, no, following the prescribed institutional part of every slide in the presentation. So during, okay, let's go to the during or the actual day of the defense. No, what is the role of the advisee? Diba? Usually we do this, no? So you prepare for the food in the ano, kasama kasi yon, no? Meal for the defense panel, no? For some, may mga ano pa yon, may mga honoraria for the defense team, no? So depende sa institutional setup, no? Ensure the copy, no? If you're the student that is to present your material today, make sure that copies are at hand, no? Are available to your panel ahead, no? It should be available to your members of the team, no, before the scheduled date, no, para hindi ka makram, no. Then alongside with the advisor's task, no, nandyan yung during, no, the advisor will jot down although some in some sample cases of the actual defense, like for example for the graduate studies, sometimes the dean would assign the college secretary to do the writing of the minutes, or anybody coming from the team may do the writing or jotting down of the minutes of the defense, no. Then of course that it is planned, and after checking the slides, no, of course you present the slide because this is your day, this is the defense event, no, of your material, of your manuscript. Then advisors, no, during the defense are expected, because you are part of you are part of the study, no? During the defense, when your student, when the advisee is presenting the study, it is always the output of the student in the advisor, because of course before presenting it, kayo naman ang nag-usap, so more or less part ka, no? So advisors should be mindful of the key parts for comments and questions being raised. Okay, so during the defense, very difficult because the your number of years for academic requirements, no, and the completion of your proposal, the topic defense, and so on and so forth, up to gathering the data, no, will now finally be ended. So after that, no, for the post-defense, hindi to pre, nagkamali lang po ako. Ayan, nagkamali ako. Pre-defense activity, post-defense activities. Of course, the advisee will be collecting the manuscript from the panel, because aside from the minutes of the defense, which was assigned to probably college secretary or somebody else from the team, no, the advisee should also collect, no, the individual comments and suggestion. So the advisee now will start doing the review of the important points for revisions. Then after that, no, so revise the needed parts of the manuscript. The advisor would be providing directions on what to do, no, and after that to do the follow-up, then checking of the corrections based on the minutes of the defense which was held, no. Now my suggestion, because I do this my own, after the defense, I'd like to suggest, no, for the advisors present, this is just the unsolicited advice, no. So after the defense, after the final defense, much more if it is final defense. So after the final defense, if it is not, if you still have, like for example, you still have enough time to fix your material, no, I'd like to request that the first or the second day after the defense should be given to the students to take some time to rest, no. I always tell my students, okay, if it is your final defense today, just keep all of your materials in one close folder or paper envelope or etc. And just take some rest, matulog kayo, then take time to regain your stress. Then because if you're stressed, if you're, you know, you have spent much of your nights, no, fixing your paper, and till the last time that that particular day will be the last day for your defense, tomorrow you still prepare your paper, no. So after that, give some time to feel the relief, no, being relieved, no. So because reality is you cannot really do it because you're tired, no. So do not pretend. Okay, so now let's go to the generic orientation, generic presentation outline. So this is the generic, no. It is it will depend on the institutional guidelines in preparing for their slides, no. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, every institution, no, every higher institution provides their own sample guideline or guide outline for presenting their study. So you start with your research rationale or background, no, then the methods to use, and this includes your SOP, which is very important, no. So very important. So your entire study will move, no, will go around with your statement of the problem, because your very target is to provide answer to the question that you are looking, and you would like to to answer, no? And the summary of findings, the implications and significant findings, or there are some part will be recommendation and conclusion. Yeah, okay. So this is the general key points to a successful oral defense. Yeah. So this is based on the research I did, and I made use of the different YouTube blogs and printed PDF copy, no, and I acknowledge them, no, at the latter part. Okay, so general key points to a successful oral defense or final defense or proposal defense. Basta yung may salitang oral defense, yung you face your, you know, you present yourselves, no, to a team expert of their field, and this team that you know, might ask something to you later that you think that you cannot answer, no, parang some sort of that effect. Now, number one, for you to have best preparation of stress-free or hassle-free oral defense, make the necessary familiarization of the entire manuscript ahead. Of course, it's very important because it is your paper, no? It is your paper, and it was you who did the study of your topic, no, or the interest that you would like to get. So the expectation is you are familiar with the terms, the process of gathering the data and interpreting the data. So it's very important that you have prior to oral defense, you have to what? It's very important that you have familiarized the entire manuscript. Next. O, di ba? Am I too fast? Okay. So create a review notes or reviewer notes and guides for important parts of your manuscript. So later I'll be sharing with you what are the common questions for your final defense, no? So this is according to Dr. Jocelyn Gagalang in her blog, no? So create a review notes or reviewer guide, no, for the important part of your manuscript, because during the final defense or oral defense, the panel, no, panel members are not interested to listen to the entire story of your manuscript from the first page to the last page, no. So just get the gist and do not memorize your words. Just tell a story about your study and convince us to believe you that your work is worthy of listening, worthy to be copied or to be learned, no? So that's it. Next, make necessary research of the profile of your defense panel team. Yan. So make necessary research of the profile of the defense panel committee or team. So it's very important in order for you to lessen probably your fear, your what else? Your stress, no? So make some study of the profile or how this type of research panel member would ask question during the defense proper, no? Is he using this strategy in asking the question? So it's very important that you know your defense panel members, no? So how will you be able to know that? Of course, you will be working with your advisor, no? You need to consult. You need to consult with your advisor, no? I always tell this to my students, no? Doing research requires three things, no? Time, money, and effort. Time, money, and effort. If you have one, because you have lots of time, but you have limited money, you have limited mobility, no? If you have lots of money, but you do not spend a good time in order for you to better prepare yourself for your undertaking, you will not become successful, no? So ano yung isa? Time, energy, no? And you should have your energy, no? Make yourself become optimistic of the the journey that you are having, no? Because along the way, these three, no, would be a great help for you to be able to finish your program. Number four, master the institutional guidelines in conducting thesis defense. So for you to have hassle-free thesis defense, or prior to that schedule of thesis defense, make sure that you have get the best orientation of what are the things that you need to submit, who are the persons that you need to visit, you need to communicate with, who are the persons to make your schedule of the defense be asked, no? So make the most of your time mastering all of these guidelines, and even how many copies are to be reproduced, what are the things that needed to be submitted by you, no? So that's number four, no? Okay, number five, you have get the best preparation in terms of the institutional guidelines. Who are the persons, who are the experts, not to sit as your panel members. So number five, it's about time that you need to practice, no? You need to practice or make necessary familiarization by rehearsing the different key terms used in your study, no? So usually these key terms are repeatedly mentioned for several times in the SOP, in the significance of the study, and so on and so forth until the last part, no? So make use of the terms being used in the manuscript, be familiar to you, be at ease at your hearing, no? Yung when pang narinig mo, parang ay alam ko na kagad yan, kasi it will add, no? It can add to your preparation, no? To your preparation. Next, number six, learn to study your attitude and emotions in front of the defense panel, no? It's very important. It is also very important for a student, no, trying to present specific academic undertaking, that when you present, just present yourself with the best modest attitude and the most composed student. What's the use of that? Because it will help you to slightly relax a feeling of being grilled by your panel, no? So do not answer questions as if you are trying to level the thinking of your panel members, no? You are trying to present your output as if it is the best, no? So again, the very idea when we do our thesis defense, we subject ourselves for corrections. We subject ourselves for better output, better outcome, because we always say two heads are better than one, no? So, and again, if the panel would insist on something, just say yes, I will follow, I will comply, I will abide. So that's the best attitude, no? Next, number 7, focus on the delivery of presentation, no? So if it is your time to present, because you have studied your presentation very well, you have identified your panel members, and you have mastered the different institutional formats, no? So just present the slide, no, as if you are highly prepared, and I know you are prepared, no? And I know you are prepared. Okay, number 8. So during the after presenting your slides, no, there will be the question and answer portion. The purpose of question and answer portion is not to destroy your character, is not to assassinate you in front of them, but to make sure that you are eligible for the degree that you are applying, no, for such educational undertaking that you are trying to convey to the entire institution, no. So there should have question and answer, no. So answer the question or question being asked in most polite and respectful manner. So yeah, it will not create reduction of your position, or what else, of your intelligence, or etc., if you give your most polite and respectful way of answering to questions, no? So next, number 9, it's very important that when you study the profiling of your panel members and try to connect the pattern of their manner of asking you the question during the actual defense, no, it's very, very important that you listen to how this type of panel member would ask question. So more or less, no, all of the questions, hindi naman personal yon, or hindi naman dahil gusto kang sabihin, kung hindi, for clarification and testing of your ultimate knowledge of your manuscript, di ba? So that is why it's very important that you know your material, you know the manuscript that you are using, you are presenting, no. So that's your advantage if you have prepared it, if you have studied it very well. Then that's I think one of the best elements for you to convince your panel members. Next, let's go to the last slide. Yeah, last slide po tayo for this one. Okay, so last slide for the 10 general key points in preparing for the stress-free or hassle-free oral defense. Be flexible, make an adjustment, no, as needed. If the panel members, or if one of the members of the panel would insist on something, just follow. Do not argue. Do not argue, or do not make your points be more dominant among all of the person inside that hall or defense panel room or defense room. No, be flexible enough to make adjustment. That if you think I have spent the rest of my months in doing this and yan, so you are not entitled to that. Sorry to let you know of that privilege of the team, of the defense panel team, no. When you present your material, you should allow yourself to have mental conditioning that your material can anytime be subjected to correction, and laging may mali yan, laging may mali. So dahil because you are open to such correction, no, the panel would feel that they are respected, or they are being listened to. So it's a good sign, no, that you subject yourself for higher learning, no. So it is not all about doing the defense part that your panel members would just ask you to test your personality. As I know, that's not part. Okay, so let's go to what are the possible questions. No, this is both for the graduate or the undergraduate level. What are the possible questions during oral defense, no, that you need to be ready about? So here, this type of questions Gagalang in her blog. So for final defense, so example, so what are the highly significant findings of your study? So you need to get ready to answer the question. What are the highly significant findings of your study? You need to answer that. Next, another sample question is, how consistent are your findings with the research title? So remember, the questions are higher order, no? So hindi lang sa, it's not just lots, no? Lots type, no? It should be, it is HATS sample, no? How? So you need to present the process. You need to present the manner that the material you use suited with the SOP being asked, and the SOP is just the part of your part of the entire target of your research title. So that's why you have the SOP in order for you to reach the reach for the quest of your title. No? What are the basis of your recommendations? Yeah. So, why did you use this type of method? No, quali, quanti, or X? No. So next, how did you gather your data? So you will be asked, how did you gather your data? So very simple. If you know how to how to gather the data of your study, you can answer the question very easily. Why did you use checklist, survey questionnaire, or modified instrument? So those are the possible questions. How did you produce such number of respondents out of this total number or population of your study? No. So another is, how did you validate your instrument? If it is researcher-made instrument, so the panel will be asking you, how did you validate your instrument? Who are the experts who viewed your instrument and made some corrections of your instrument, who did some corrections of your instrument? So you need to answer that, no? And another is, were you able to answer all of the questions cited in your SOP? Yan. So sagot. And when you give your answer, expect that there will be follow-up questions. Huh? So there will be follow-up questions. Yan. Okay. Next. So in general, the panel member would ask, no, what are the limitations and weaknesses of your study? So you cite your limitations. So you give your limitations. So these are the things that you need to be ready about when you present yourself for the oral defense. The last one is in general, as you have successfully conducted this study and you were able to craft those recommendations based on your findings, no, what do you think is the contribution of your study to the body of knowledge? Yan. So medyo mahabang essay yon, mahabang kwento. So you need to be learn to practice how to answer this type of questions, ba? So pang Miss Universe lang siya. And you can do that. Now, so these are the sample of questions or type of questions being asked by the panel, no, during the defense or final defense. So is it difficult? Is it not easy? Of course, because every time, no, in the setup in school, di ba? If it is your professor or instructor would ask you, you don't like the idea. So same thing with the thesis defense or oral defense. You will be asked, no? The rest of the day, the rest of your time after presenting your study will be asking and asking and asking. So you need to bring your best patience to give your best answer. And if you do not know the answer because it is not part of your study, or you are still allowed to give your answer, no? Make sure that you still convey your best explanation for not having an answer to such a question that you have. Okay, so that is why, no, for doing thesis or doing research in the undergrad, especially if it is groupings, minsan it's very difficult, no. I know some of you, some of the instructors here, college instructors, are thesis advisor or research instructors, no? So they would attest to how difficult it is to teach research, no, and do the advising, no? That is why if we cannot contain our best effort at the level of students, and if the students are not satisfied with our effort given to them, it sometimes made them have a conflict, no, within their group, di ba? So that is why for almost 5 years in my school, the practice that I do when the students are done with the research tool that they are having, no, I require them, especially during the old normal before, I require them to have our thesis testimonial, yan, research testimonial party. So what's the purpose of this, no? So these students would be sharing their experiences, their learning, no, their extended patience during the preparation of the thesis. So I am very glad because the sharing, no, would really give me more appreciation of how difficult it is to do the research, that the research as an academic undertaking. So yan ang mga samples namin, may mga thesis testimonial party. So every student would be given a chance to share their her or his experience. Then if among the group, no, she or he has created conflict, no, so it's the time that they share, they ask forgiveness and settle things, di ba? So ang saya. So yun yung mga nami-miss ko nung old normal. So yan po, yan, okay. And that's all for this night. Thank you very much everyone for listening. Thank you very much po.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Richard Catain, sa napakagandang sharing. Let us give our virtual clap to our resource speaker tonight. Okay, palakpakan po natin si Dr. Richard. Ayan, napakaganda. So, I think marami tayong nakuha, no, ng mga learnings, mga tips on how to be, or how to become successful our thesis defense. So I think maraming mga estudyante tayo ngayon dito na umattend, ano, and some of the advisors din, yung mga nagiging advisor ng mga thesis natin, ano. So thank you very much Dr. Richard sa napakaraming tips na ibinigay mo sa amin. Tunay na very successful ang iyong presentation tonight. At yan, you are correct to all those things. Sabi nga, do not work with a problem which is not in line with your interests. Maganda yon, no? Ang bawat problema dapat nating susulatin ay yung naaayon sa ating interest. Do not go to your presentation without proper preparation in all aspects. So thank you very much for that, Dr. Catain.
Yes,
so,
sir. May mga comments din tayo, sir, na mga nababasa dito. There are panelists daw, no, na terorista, sabi dito. So yun na nga, no. If we defend our study, no, we subject ourselves to corrections. So we do not label them as terorista, no? Kasi sila din, no, hindi naman niya naibigay sa kanila kagaya natin, no. They don't get such degree, no, that such entitlement na maupo diyan because they did not spend their best time, money and effort. So it is a challenge for you as a human being with that with complete sense, no, and sound mind, no, to do your own journey, and you need to surpass all of this team, no, para maitawid mo rin yung iyo. Yan. So,
okay, so thank you very much, sir, again. And before we entertain those questions, if ever they have questions for regarding the discussions that you have conducted to us, we will proceed first sa next activity natin before we entertain different questions and of course suggestions. In line with the program, we have in this juncture, we will have our oath taking of the new appointed research consultant. And by this time, may I request everyone, those people who will undergo this oath taking, to open your cameras and unmute your microphone. So may I see those newly appointed research consultants. Ayan. So they are now opening their cameras. So thank you for that. And by this juncture, our oath-taking officer, ayan, officer ang tawag ko, no? Oath-taking, to conduct the oath-taking, papangunahan po tayo siyempre ng isa sa ating mga iginagalang dito sa ETCOR Educational Research Center. My dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, our conductor is none other than, she is MSE Teacher 3 of Sudipen Vocational High School from IPET Sudipen, La Union, Philippines, none other than Ma'am Minerva L. Docola.
Thank you, Dr. Dennis. Good evening, everyone. To our new ETCOR research consultants, kindly raise your right hand and follow after me. Okay. Please state your name. Please state your name.
Kindly open your mic.
Sorry po for the interruption, Ma'am Minerva. Yung mga bata pong nag-attend, hindi po kayo mag-oath taking. Po yung camera nyo. Pati yung mga bata nag-oath taking.
Okay. Yung mga ano lang po,
Mga
ang
estudyante, mga research consultants po ng ETCOR. Baka po medyo hindi po nila nag-gets ng konti yung instruction ni their moderator.
Ay, sorry po,
Baka po akala nila may junior team tayo sa ETCOR.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Richard.
Yes po. Pa-close na lang po nung cam ng mga estudyante, mga bata. Yan. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Richard. Okay, we'll repeat. To our new ETCOR research consultants, kindly raise your hand and follow after me. Please state your name.
Gary Z. Regana.
Elimar A. Pascual.
Doris Miguyas.
Do solemnly and sincerely
Do solemnly and sincerely
promise, swear,
Do
and
solemnly
declare.
and sincerely
Promise, swear, and declare
promise and declare
that I will truly and faithfully
promise and declare
and to the best of my skills,
I will truly and
and to the
faithfully
best of my skills,
knowledge, and abilities
knowledge and abilities,
execute the
and to the best
powers
of my skills, knowledge and abilities,
execute the powers
execute the powers
and trust repose in me
and trust repose in me
as ETCOR Educational Research Centers. Please state
As
your
ET-
position.
as ETCOR Educational Research Center consultant.
So help me God.
To help me God.
as ETCOR
Congratulations.
Research Center.
Thank you,
Okay,
Doc.
congratulations.
Congratulations
to all.
po.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Minerva, for conducting this show. Okay, and congratulations, of course, sa ating mga newly appointed research consultant. Ayan, palakpakan po natin ang ating mga newly appointed research consultant. Ayan, congratulations, everyone. Okay, so this time, we would like to hear, of course, an acceptance speech from the newly appointed research consultant. So may I request Ma'am Myrna Pastorales to give the acceptance speech. Ma'am Myrna? Is Ma'am Myrna here?
Doc, parang wala po yata. Hindi ko pa nakita. Baka po
Okay.
anyone from those who just took their oath would like to volunteer to give a short acceptance speech po.
Yeah. Anyone from the newly appointed consultant to accept the oath? Anyone? Or can I ask for somebody? Can I call the name if you allow me? So this time, even a very short message of acceptance, may I hear from, if you allow me to call you, Sir Elimar Pascual. Sir Elimar.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. With the challenge given to us and the responsibilities entrusted to us as research consultant, we, together with my colleagues who did the oath taking this evening, accept the challenge, responsibilities, and the task of being a research consultant of ETCOR. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity, and through this, we can also grow as we learn from the other consultants as well.
Wow.
Once again, thank you and God bless.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Elimar Pascual, for accepting all the privileges and the challenges that we have now as part of the ETCOR Educational Research Center. You are now all full-fledged part of this institution or in this organization. Thank you, and once again, congratulations. So this juncture, I would like to ask everyone to please open our camera for the picture taking, and this will be done by our overall coordinator and of course the chair of this event, none other than Sir Richard Sanchez.
Okay po. So ano po tayo for ano man tawag dito, panel? Yan, sa una po muna. Hindi nyo po alam kung saang panel na tayo, so open nyo na lang po, no, hanggang 1 to 4. Yan. Okay, ready po? Sige. 1, 2, 3, first panel po. Camera lang po yung bubuksan, hindi yung mic. Okay, second po. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next po, number 3. Yan. Marami pong hakot na estudyante si Dr. Catain. Yung mga estudyante niya, inaya po niya. Okay, last po. Manatili pong naka-open ang cam, Okay. Okay na po. Back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, thank you, Kuya, and thank you for the pictures. And of course, gaya ng sinabi ni Sir, marami mga estudyante, and I think this night or this evening, you are well enlightened and enrich your mind with regards on the topic that we have heard. So this time, my dear friends, we will proceed on the question and answer portion. So let us see our chat box if we have some comments, suggestions, and questions over here. It's so few here. Mga panelists, mga terrorists, yan ay nabigyan pansin na natin yung speaker.
Joke lang po yun, no? Joke lang po yun, sa akin po galing.
Opo. Pero nag-react naman si Sir at maganda naman yung reaction ni Sir kanina. So sabi pa dito, some of the panelists did not read the paper prior to the defense. What can you say about that, Sir Richard or Doc Richard?
Sino
pa si Sir po?
Apo.
Siguro sir, yun na nga po. If it is the paper should be given ahead, no? So if the paper is given ahead, no reason for the team member of the panel not to read the document, no? But for some reason that you do not comply, especially for the undergrad, no, they failed to submit the document, although they were given the schedule already that they will be doing the final defense. So there are reasons, no, to consider, but this does not say that your team, no, the panel, the members of the panel are not familiar with your study, because if the members of the panel are with the content expert and the research expert, when you present, they will notice that there is irregularity in the presentation, and you cannot you cannot deny that, or you cannot you cannot hide that, no, you cannot hide that during defense that you were able to cite this or you mentioned this, which is not, I think it's not part of your study, or it's not. And so yeah, no, do not question the team again. we say that, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. So that's really kaya nga sila pinili doon. Kaya mayroon silang mga kakayanan. So by this time, okay, meron tayong mga ilang comments dito and question, I think. Sabi dito ni Sir Nino Torres. Sabi dito, "Hi Doc, I just want to ask, how are we going to satisfy the panelists if we subject ourselves for correction? Can you give us a piece of advice with regards to this? Thank you."
Yeah. So as mentioned earlier, early on, when we do material presentation or thesis defense, we are subjecting ourselves for betterment, no? So I do not suggest that you do this in order for you to please the members of the panel, but doing the mastery of your material, doing the best that you can in order for you to best present the output of your study is good enough, no, to really convince probably your team. Because you know, notice, no, here we have thesis teachers also here, research teachers, professors here. When you face your students during their oral defense, you can differentiate the set of students or group who really did their best effort to study their work before the presentation proper, and there are some who just in order to meet the deadline, yung bahala na. So kaya pag nandun sila, talagang pagsasabihin ng hindi. So yan. So yun po, yun yung ating explanation for that. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. So let's proceed to the other one. Is it ethical that the panel will give their CP number or contact details to the students after the defense? What unethical, ethical aspects ang pinag-usapan? Sige po, sir.
Yeah. If the motive is as good as still related to the transaction that you are having, no, especially your manuscript, I think it has no malice for me if I do that, because the very purpose, unless you have other transaction aside from from completing the document or the manuscript, no. Why? Probably the purpose of the instructor is that if you'd like to ask something, you can directly connect to this number. Because when I was in my graduate study at a graduate school, I also experienced the same. And my team, my panel team is generous enough to i-text mo ako kung okay na yung ano mo para. So yun po, wala namang no other
so
business.
it depends.
Yeah.
It depends on the purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Doc. So this time, it's another comment, and yeah. Doc, ano pong opinion mo sa pagsasadya ng foods ng mga students para sa panelists? Sometimes it is a practice, sometimes it's a practice, ano? Sige po.
Yeah. So I say this to my students, no. especially especially those educators, I may say that it is quite ano ba yan, quite extravagant on your part, but during our time we did this. So do you think it's good on your part that during your time you stop the tradition, you stop the you stop the practice? And siguro naman hindi naman kawalan sa inyo ng ganun kalaki na mag-allot for that, only for this, no? And it is, no, I say it is the lookout of the advisor. How will you convince your student siguro na hindi naman magmukhang yung hindi naman magmukhang tawag dito, it all you can yung dating nung Siyempre, yung simple lang yan Huwag mo gugutumin ang panel kung pwede, no? Huwag mo gugutumin ang panel, and it is part of the entire process. So, saka among all of the groups, halimbawa kung kayo lang ang ganun, napaka-exceptional naman ng anong group, no? So,
tama po yan.
Opo. Yun.
Sabi nga po ng iba ay part ng pagkakaroon ng gratitude din, no, sa mga naging bahagi ng ating papel. Sabi nga ng tatay ko, tayo ngayon nakakapagpakain doon sa dumadaan lang, lalo pa kung nagtatrabaho sa atin.
And even and even Dr. Sir Dennis, no, aside from food, there are institutions who are requiring the student, the thesis student, no, when do the defense to prepare financial or monetary amount, specific amount to that effect, no. So kung ganun, especially for masters, no, at saka kasi parang some sort of honoraria something, pag ganun parang hindi ka pa ba, Diyos ko, last na yan di ba? So kaya nga ang sabi natin, I always repeat this, for you to be able to complete your undertaking when you do your research, for example, even undergraduate, even for graduate program or studies, you need to have your time, money, and energy. Yang tatlo na yan, importante po yan. Kahit marami ka diyang isa lang, hindi gagana yan. So, bigay mo na. And later, you will reap your investment naman.
Okay. So, thank you for the enlightenment. So, this time, Doc, meron pa uli. What is your stand about the panel become co-author of his paper? Okay. Sige po.
Yeah. So basically, during the process of completion the material, advisor is considered part of the study, no? Kasi siya ay nag-edit, and I learned this from my advisor before, that she is always reminding me, you need to be very careful with what you write, what you input in your manuscript, because I am your co-author. So because I do checking of your material, it is automatically that I am part of your study. I don't know if that idea of being co-author of the material is being used by this teacher for his or her personal grandstanding, or for example, for promotion. So that becomes not parang unethical siya, no? So unless you conduct another study, or you make your own probably some sort of modification, but using the entire study of your student and claiming it as advisor because you are part and you are also the author, I think it's not acceptable for me, no? For me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you very much again. And ito pa, meron pa po. Panelists sometimes do not have time to review or read the manuscript because the students provided the copy late. So, kung baga ito, follow up lang doon sa kanina, no?
Yeah.
Sige po. So, punta po tayo sa sunod kay Madam Lani de Guzman. Thank you for the key points, Dr. Catain. If the research proposal does not contain the essential sections of the paper, such as the research gap or research problem, and the rest is not aligned to the title, how can we be intellectually humble in explaining that the paper is wanting of substance and relevance, as well as further as the justification of completing the essential missing elements?
Oh, medyo mahaba ang tanong ni Dani, no? Pero may mga naunang question, sir. Paki-review din natin kagaya ng tanong tungkol doon sa is thesis a pure math? Later balikan natin. So, ang question niya i-refresh ko lang kasi na if the research proposal does not contain essential section of the paper such as research gap or the rest is not aligned to that, how can we be aligned to the title, humble in explaining that the paper is wanting of substance and relevance, as well as further justification of completing the essential missing elements? Well, what's the purpose of your material? Are you looking for something in order for you to fill that particular gap? No. If your purpose of doing research is because you are interested, so the process of completing the material, I think you will be able to find the gap, and later on you can make all of the things aligned from the title to your SOP, no, up to the process of how to gather the needed data, no. So, and by that probably we can have a justification that your study is worthy of reading or worthy of, can be a contributory to the body of knowledge, no. So again, it should be subjected, no, to process of modification, no, kasi may panel at saka di ba, we noticed that there are schools, institutions are very strict with the placement of the names of the pages, etc. So kasama po 'yun, no, kasama po. So maliban sa content, which is the main part of the manuscript, you also consider the technical side, no? So the technical part, especially in the Philippines, we are very particular about it. Unlike with the so Western countries, sa kanila okay, parang kahit ano. Yeah, okay. Yes sir.
Okay, so all right. So sabi niya kay Kuya ito, natawa daw siya doon sa iyong et all you can. Ako rin napatawa doon. Napakaganda ng statement na 'yon at yun naman ay talagang totoo, no? Okay. So dito po merong nag-refer dito ng isang website regarding the authorship. So maganda rin po siguro ito ay puntahan natin sa pag may mga time kayo, extra time, to go for this website in order for us to enlighten kung paano ba tayo maging author o paano ba yung authorship. Okay, so thank you very much, Sir Jordan, sa iyong pag-share.
Sir,
salamat po. Yes
ang tanong ni Ma'am Mimi Magisa is, ito sir, sabi niya, next yun kanina doon sa ethical question doon sa pagbibigay doon ng cellphone. So ang next question ni Ma'am yata ay nakalagay doon, kayo na magbasa sir? Ako na po.
Ikaw na po.
If the thesis is a pure math and there are no respondents, what can be the possible questions of the panel? Of course, ma'am, it is a basic, no, of doing a thesis that you have to have your respondents with you, because only the respondents, the data to be taken out of these respondents could provide us the questions, could provide us the answer to our statement of the problems. So we can have thesis or research with not necessarily with pure math, no? That is why we have the qualitative, di ba? Under qualitative, ang dami-dami mga pwedeng mga study na pwedeng gawin, no? Yung mga mga types of research under qualitative, no? So pwede po naman, no? Pwede, yun nga lang, may mga restrictions tayo in terms of the number of respondents. For example, if it is qualitative, no, I don't know if it is same with the understanding of the rest. The minimum number of months to do the study, it should be 6 months, 1 year, ganyan. So, dapat 10 respondents minimum, no? So sa 10 respondents, you will be doing the triangulations, no? So matagal siya. Yung sagot ng bata, tatanong natin doon kung tama kaya ang naisip ng bata sa isang set of triangulated response, no? Tatanong natin sa isa pa. So, 10 lang yung iyong respondents, pero parang because of the process, no, dumadami siya. So, qualitative research po yun. Yun, sir.
Okay.
Yun, ma.
So, thank you, ma. Thank you, sir. Thank you rin doon sa nagtanong. Okay. So, this time, I see the raising hands, no? So, iwanan po muna natin saglit ang chat box. Let's proceed to those who are raising hands now. Sir Adrian Carvajal, sir.
Hello po. Thank you, Dr. Dennis. Can you hear me po?
Yes po, yes po.
Apo. Dr. Richard Catain, I'll be making a rejoinder. Maganda yung tanong ni Roel Deliosa on what is your stand about the panel becoming a co-author. We need to distinguish that this panel is not the advisor. You answered a while ago yung advisor issue.
Okay. I'm sorry.
We need to doon sa advisor, I think it's a popular notion na it can be, no, may attributes na binigay si Dr. Diego coming from the website, may mga criteria of becoming a co-author. The advisor, our stand siguro po is the advisor can comply with the criteria na binigay ni Dr. Diego. However, sa panel, doon tayo magkakatalo kasi you're just a mere examiner of the paper. So kay Roel Deliosa, what is the stand pagdating sa panel becoming a co-author? Medyo malayo siya. Hindi na siya makakapasok doon. Not unless an advisor will do. Thank you, thank you po.
Okay, thank you Sir Adrian sa magandang advice din, no? Totoo naman po 'yon, ano. And sige, kung meron pa pong gustong mag-raise ng inyong questions, still we have enough time to entertain you. Okay, punta po ulit tayo sa chat box. Before we go on, before we proceed to others, meron po kaming link diyan ipinost diyan sa chat box for our evaluation. Bago po tayo magkalimutan, ay pinapaalala ko po na tayong lahat ay magsagawa nitong evaluation para po sa agabing activity natin na ito. So, nandiyan po sa chat box. Paki-copy na lang po and then answer all the queries and questions over there. Then send it to the respected, diyan po sa ating link na yan. Thank you po. So, ngayon po ay tingnan po natin yung ilan pa rito. Salamat po, Dr. Catain, from the point of view of the panel po nasasabihin sa researcher. Ayan, thank you po for the inputs. Another one, sir, from Mimi Magisa. Ayan, Ma'am Mimi Magisa. Sir, MRAD format lang po siya, no respondents, because if pure math, you just have to prove a theory or derive your own question. Nga naman. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that comments po. Ayan. Another one from Ma'am Evelyn Bly. Doctor, how will you approach a panel wherein you disagree with their suggestion? Nasagot na po ba itong tanong ni Sir Jordan? Experience this too. I experienced this too. O nga naman. Sige po. Sagutin niyo nga po yun, Doc.
Yeah. So we always say this. Before doing the actual oral defense, no, your assumption, because you and your advisor, like for example, you have a very efficient advisor that from time to time, she or he checks your paper, he monitors your output and so on and so forth. So with that effort that you are showing and you are giving, you would say that I think it's okay already. It's enough already. But when you present it to the other side of the story or the other side of the viewers or what should I say, experts, and they'll find something that is something that you need to revise, to review, to change, or to remove. We do not resist. We do not say no. We just say yes. No, it is not your suggestion that should prevail as a researcher. It is not your opinion after all that should prevail because according to you, ako nag-study nito eh. Again, no, we subject it to the expertise of, especially if you have seated you have the member of the panel sitting, no, yung content expert, no, kasi meron diyan statistics lang, meron diyan yung language lang, meron diyan yung content expert, no. So we follow, no, we do not we do not deviate from their suggestion, because one thing is for sure, very simple. If you do not follow the suggestion when you revise the paper, and if this panel member is critical enough to check your paper and monitor that this is the page where I was presenting my points, and why is it that it is not yet revised, changed, or modified, so I'll not sign your document. So wala. Gusto mo bang gumraduate ka na may kulang ng isang perma? Ang lungkot naman, di ba? At sa alam ko hindi pwede na may kulang eh. So lahat talaga dapat meron. So ibigay ang hilig, no? Ibigay na lang, especially pag sa graduate program po, no? Ibigay po ang suggestion nila. No, it will not discount you, no? It will not discount you. I-ano natin kung anong suggestion niya. 'Yun po. Para makatapos ka na. Para makatawid ka na.
Okay. Sige po. Salamat po, sir. So, I see here also raising hands si Ma'am Franz Lawrence Laugo. Ma'am?
Yes, hello, good evening, sir. Doc, good evening, Doc. Thank you for a very informative topic. I really appreciate it. One time, sir, kasi I was invited to become a panelist, but then I eventually disagreed on the same because I'm a law graduate and I'm not very specific. I'm not into a different study. So nakita ko na ang ipapresent ng mga bata is not the same as that na meron ako. Kumbaga parang nag-doubt ako sa sarili ko. Nag-doubt ako sa sarili ko na tanggapin. So since ang topic po natin, sir, is tips to a successful and stress-free research oral defense. So it will help the students yung nasa collegiate, the masters and PhD. Ano po? As a law graduate kasi, sir, hindi non-thesis kasi ako non-thesis. So I did not happen to have an ample research about it. What I know is about making or at least drafting a law, provide a bill, for example. Moreover, sir, can you give me a tip on how kung kukuha ako ng JD program, which is with a thesis, na plano ko po talaga kasi I want to become a researcher po talaga on the same manner. So what else can you give me, sir? I think you're a very experienced person regarding research.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you very much. So more or less, you have the idea that during the defense proper, no, if you're invited as one of the panelists, there is that tendency. There is always that tendency that your stand is not same with the stand of the other members of the team. That is why it is advised, no? It is advised, especially for the chairman, to do the parliamentary procedure. I know you are familiar with that, ma'am.
Yes, so, yes, very familiar.
The chairman should break or should decide on the matter by considering the ruling of the majority, because it will be reflected in the minutes, no? So that's very common in the graduate school. Usually when you do the presentation, magkasalungat talaga yung mga so the chairman would be asking, so what's the pleasure of the body, since that there is the proposal. So talagang gumagamit ng parliamentary procedure para pagdesisyonan yung isang bagay. So tama yon, no? It's very important that the researcher or the defendant, no, of that particular study should witness, no, that me having this type of study is not similar with the thinking of my panel, or my panel members probably more equipped with what I know now, so I need to submit, no? So your question, ma'am, is you are planning to
take, sir, the PhD, the Doctor of Jurisprudence, which is a thesis program. So I need to get a thesis pa po. Kasi ako po kasi JD non-thesis. Dalawa po kasi yung JDs. One is with thesis and the other one is non-thesis. Prior po, ang alam natin, that is a Bachelor of Laws. So Bachelor's of Laws po siya. So ngayon po kasi binago na siya, JD program, thesis and non-thesis program. So I'm planning to get a thesis subject so that I would be a graduate of JD, which is a thesis program.
Yeah. So remember that you know, in my practice, I always ask my students, no. So the first thing that you need to do when you choose your research topic or research type, it should be your interest, because you will be playing with your interest, no, and more or less you will be enjoying the difficulty of the journey in finishing your thesis, no. So halimbawa kayo, ma'am, so more or less you would like to focus on probably criminal justice education.
No, family.
Okay, family relations. So good, no, good. So family related study. So marami naman po kayong makukuha, ma'am. Marami kayong ma-avail ng mga topic na interested po kayo. So yan, so family relations. So actually ako when I plan to present my proposal for my PhD before, ang gusto ko naman sanang interest na gusto kong i-take, ano yung impact ng OFW parents sa mga anak na naiwan sa Pilipinas na nag-aaral at parang fully parang fed sila financially pero with the absence of the biological parents. So that was my interest before, pero hindi naman sa nag-materialize. So baka gusto mo, ma'am, may interest kayo sa ganon. Yung parents working abroad. Actually, I have my qualitative study of such sana mahanap ko siya. Pwede kong i-share sa iyo.
Thank you, sir, for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, Ma'am Franz and Sir Richard, for that good idea na pinag-usapan natin. So meron po dito mga follow-up lang doon sa mga nauna. Dapat may significant contribution si advisor bago mag-author, and researcher has the right sana to include or exclude the advisor. Minsan naabuso yun po authorship na iyan. So that's from Ma'am Dionisio. Sir Dionisio.
Shukran.
Okay. According to Sir Carbajal, agrees Sir Rowell. Sir pala, sorry po. Sir Rowell, and the student should be the primary author. Okay, sige po. Eto pa, medyo mahaba ulit, sir, ha? Babasahin ko. What if an advisor refuses the idea of the students and he did it according to advisor's idea, but the panel rejects it and the idea of the students was suggested by the panel? It is right to find another advisor because the students was about to start at the very beginning. How are we going to treat the situation?
Very tricky problem, no? So again, if it is your institutional setup that the placement of the advisor is being decided by the dean, no, we cannot decline, no, we cannot even choose our advisor. But I think the practice in higher education is that we suggest for a possible advisor, I think three short list, no, or three names. Then after that, the dean would be placing the advisor. Now, it is possible that conflict between the advisor and the student may happen. during, before, or after the thesis itself, no, the completion of the manuscript. But make sure that if you would like to request for new advisor, everything is settled, no? Everything is settled. Kasi like for example, kailan ka magpapalit ng advisor? Kung doon ka na sa doon ka na sa research 2, bago ang research 1 mo, naging advisor mo na si ganyan. Lilipat ka ngayon sa So mahirap kasi how sure are you na yung papalit sa yung advisor, wala sang ipapabago doon sa mga ginawa ninyo. So again, it's very simple. No, it's very simple. If you think that your paper is not as good as you wanted it to be because your advisor decided to have it done like this way, then be it. So kasama yun. Yung mahirap yung sir, kasama yun. No, yung nahihirapan kayo na magkapag-communicate, kasama yon, that's part, no. Ako, I remember when I was doing my masters, yung sabi ng advisor ko, punta ka dito sa ganyan, nag-MRT ako, ay wag ka na, wala na ako diyan, aalis ko lang eh, o bumalik na naman ako, dito tayo magkita na lang sa ganyan, kunin mo yung pumunta na naman, ay hindi na kasi umulan, bukas na lang tayo mag-meet. So, see the patience, no? Kasama yon, no? Kasama yon. Again, think of your advisor as your partner in accomplishing your manuscript, no? So, think of your advisor as your partner in accomplishing your manuscript. Now, sabi isipin, nahirapan gano'n. Make use of the evaluation, that the latter part, that sana hindi na ito mabigyan ng advisory ng research kasi po hindi niya inaayos yung so pwede naman, you can suggest, pero yung in between, no, na kayo ay iiwanan ninyong advisor niyo, nag-complain kayo whatsoever, lumipat kayo sa isang usually sa mga advisor din, hindi naman basta-bastang ginagawa yon kasi unethical din, di ba? Kasi colleague mo siya, no? So sa mga advisors po na nandito, hindi rin siguro solution yon na we take our advanced grandstanding by accepting the request of the students. Let them experience that, no? Ganun talaga. So part yan ng training sa inyo. So
okay.
Suggest, no? Unsolicited advice lang naman po yan.
Okay, thank you Sir Richard. Talagang may mga incidents talaga na gano'n, hindi natin makontrol sometimes yung mga pangyayari na ganyan. But anyway, we have here another comment here, Doctor, you can disagree, especially if you have sufficient literature na. Remember that research is empirical. So paano kung mali naman? Ayan ang mga comments. Sige, I agree Sir Jordan, sabi ni Sir Rowell. Okay, from Sir Jordan again, also remember that you are the primary author. You have to defend your paper with published literature. Any modification is unnecessary. You have to protect your stand. Okay, that's good and that's correct, sir. Thank you. And of course, ayan, meron dito ang suggestion kay Ma'am Franz. Ma'am Franz, join ETCOR. At dito daw ay magiging dalubhasa ka, sabi ni Sir Richard.
I did.
Okay. Ang haba nito para may litanya tayo dito. Please check if this is true about some of the advisors. Just to share po, close-minded. Dr. No, basahin ko ba ito lahat? Dr. No idea, new idea. Doctor changes direction. Doctor never satisfied. Doctor different planet. Doctor email mo sa akin. Doctor kaya mo yan. Doctor always right. Please cite my published article. Oo nga, may mga ganyan. Doctor parinig sa birthday next week. Doctor inaway ng panelists during the defense. Doctor, I will do the rest of your paper. Just pay me. Doctor, masipag talaga. Wow, ang dami ng doctor nun, ha? Anyway, sometimes it is true. Yeah. The job of a research advisor or a panel member is to help the writer see he or she own errors and to show the right way to correct it. Okay, thank you. So yan, napakaraming mga nabasa natin at magaganda naman yung kanilang mga comments. And I hope na nakatulong din yung inyong mga suggestions and comments na yun. And of course, the questions na sinagot ng ating guest speaker or ating resource speaker tonight. Thank you very much,
sir. Isa-suggest ko lang. Siguro doon, may practice in the research class that I'm handling. Yung halimbawa, pag first time namin imi-meet ko po sila, so laging may timeline. Laging may timeline. Pag hindi na-meet yung timeline na yan, so that's the start of the agony. Pwedeng ako at sila. So it's very important for research advisor, research teacher, or thesis advisor, no, that you prepare the best timeline. Because if it is not being followed, more or less, you are not to be blamed. Kasi hindi nag-perform ang estudyante mo. Considering that you have conditioned their mind, for you to be able to finish the degree that you are pursuing, you need to make this blah 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 ahead. So pag hindi na meet, so yun po ang naging dahilan. Kaya pwede ang advisor ay magsasabi ng, o kaya mo yan, sige, new idea, change direction. Kasi kapag may mga placement dapat na mga dates, no, na very crucial, nami-meet dapat yon, nami-meet dapat. So especially po ngayon ay COVID pandemic, no, iba ang challenge natin sa sarili natin, no, sa pag-a-assist sa mga estudyante, at yung approach din ng estudyante sa atin, siyempre siguro may mga mababago din talaga dapat. Sige po. Thank you very much again, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, I'm just reminding again everyone to please answer the evaluation evaluation sheet natin. Nandiyan po ang link sa ating chat box. Don't forget po. So this time, our guest speaker or our resource speaker is right to receive a special award tonight, and this is the award of the certificate for our guest speaker or resource speaker. So may I have the certificate for our resource speaker? So let me read the content of the certificate. ETCOR Educational Research Center, Santa Ana, Pampanga, Philippines, presents this certificate of recognition for Richard T. Catain, Research Coordinator, a Research Consultant, ETCOR Educational Research Center, for the invaluable time and expertise as a resource speaker in the national webinar on quantitative research of ETCOR Educational Research Center, held on September 15 and 29 and October 13, 2021, and conducted under the advisory Project Sagip Mananaliksik for everyone, with an advisory from LPT PhD. Okay, so the awarding of certificate to our guest speaker, resource speaker, Dr. Richard Catain. So you may now receive the virtual certificate of recognition, sir. Sir, do you have any parting words before we proceed?
Thank you very much, Dr. Dennis Briñosa, Dr. Carvajal, and to Dr. Sanchez, and to also to Dr. Lijarde, and to everyone present this evening. Thank you very much for your time, for taking part of this very important undertaking, no, of the ETCOR. I hope that you learn something, no, and I hope that whatever learning that you have taken today or tonight, you will share it to our fellow educator and researchers. That's all, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir, again. And napakarami po naming natutunan mula sa iyong pagbabahagi kanina and even on the question and answer portion. So this time, I would like to ask our organizer if we have some announcement.
Sir, di ba may closing pa? May nakasign sa closing.
Apo. So, sige po. May mga wala na po bang pahabol? Kasi kanina nakita ko nagtaas ng kamay si Ma'am Franz, pero bigla rin nawala. Anyway, let's proceed now. So this time, my dear friends, we will proceed to our closing part. And at this juncture, I would like to give to us or give to you our friends from La Consolacion University, Philippines, Barangay Bulihan, Malolos City, Bulacan, to give the closing message for us, none other than Madam Angelyn C. Tioco.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Dennis. Am I audible po?
Not so clear, ma'am. Okay. Come again, ma'am.
Sorry, am I audible po?
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on for a while po. Hello, yes, Dr. Dennis?
Yes, ma'am, you go ahead.
Okay, sorry po for that. Okay, good evening once again po for to everyone, to our quest for more knowledge and enhancing our skills is a privilege given to everyone who attended this webinar. To our speaker, Dr. Richard Catain, thank you for your sharing the knowledge on how we can successfully deliver oral research defense. And also, I would like to acknowledge my co-team, Professor Jefferson Marcelo, Dr. Dennis Briñosa, and most especially to all our ETCOR family for continuously providing us events like this. To each and everyone present here today, our gratitude from the bottom of our hearts. We might have a long journey ahead, but we can make things possible through all our combined efforts. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Wow, thank you very much for the closing message from Ma'am Angelyn Tioco. Very much po, ma'am. And by this time, my dear friends, nagpapasalamat po ako sa inyong lahat sa pag-attend niyo sa napakagandang webinar session na ito. And of course, we would like to thank also our resource speaker and from sa mga visitors natin, sa mga newly appointed research consultants. Thank you very much for attending this very significant event. And by this time, again, I am Dr. Dennis Briñosa as your moderator for this special event. Thank you very much, everyone. God